Hi, we're going to bake bread today, and we're going to use the simplest recipe that's possible, I think. I've already washed my hands and I've rinsed them thoroughly, which you'll want to be sure to do at home because you want your hands to be clean and you don't want any fragrance or soap on your hands because we're going to knead the dough, and you definitely don't want your dough to taste like soap. All of these ingredients are at room temperature, so I took them out of the refrigerator a little while ago. Flour. I just have white flour here, but if you use whole grain flours in your family, you could include that as well. Sugar. Milk is optional. You could use the same quantity of water if you don't have dairy in your family or if you just prefer to use water. Salt, yeast, and 1 egg. My egg is from the chicken coop of my good friends Lucy and Jack Crawford. This recipe doesn't require you to activate the yeast ahead of time, so I'm just going to mix it in with the flour. This is a small recipe. You could double it if you have a large family or if you would like to have some leftovers, but this is about enough for one meal. 1 loaf of bread or 1 pan of rolls. 3 cups of flour you begin with. 1, 2, 3. A half teaspoon of salt. I recommend measuring dry ingredients away from the bowl, so if you have a mistake, you don't have to start over. You can just clean off the counter. Half teaspoon of salt. And the yeast is the equivalent of 1 package. I always keep a tub, but you can, this is a brand new tub. Also just use 1 package if you're buying single servings. So this is 2 1/4 teaspoons. 1, 2, and 1/4. Just, oops, that's a 1/4. That's the 1 over the 4, guys. You might want to ask your parents for help with that. There we go. And 2 to 4 tablespoons of sugar. So if you don't like very much sweet taste in your bread, or if you intend to put something like jelly on it, just use 2. But in my family, we like things sweet, so I'm going for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could compromise at 3. There you go. Now, I use a wire whisk because that works nicely for dry ingredients. It won't work well when we add the liquid, but for now, that gets everything nicely incorporated. All right, now, we need a 1/4 cup of butter, and then we're going to add the milk. A 1/4 cup, if you have a stick, is half of the stick, or 4 tablespoons, so it has the marks on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't have butter or margarine in your house, you could substitute oil. Butter is a good flavor though, so a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to save this because we'll need it later. And 1 cup of milk. And remember, if you would prefer to use water because of dietary restrictions or personal preference, it would work just fine, and it would taste good too. And then we're going to mix. My butter has been out for a long time, so it's soft. If the butter is not at room temperature, it won't work very well because butter is hard. But we're going to get that all mixed together. And then the fun part. So, oh, I forgot to put the egg in. Why did I do that? I'll do that right now. 1 egg. There we go. If you don't have an egg right now, I'm trying to think of all the accommodations you might have to make because people are not shopping very much right now. You could make this recipe without an egg and it would be just fine. No harm done. I like to have the egg in the milk because we eat a lot of bread in my family and it makes it a little bit more nutritious. I like to have the protein and the calcium in the bread. Okay, so kneading dough is the fun part. That's why we washed our hands so carefully at the beginning. I'm going to get the sugar out of the way because I don't need it. And put a little flour on the counter so that the dough doesn't stick to the countertop. Now, if you're working with your brothers or your sisters or a parent, if you have two people who want to participate, my suggestion is let the oldest person get you started, and then you can divide the dough so that more than one person can participate. Or, if you'd prefer, you could take turns. But just make sure while you're waiting that you don't accidentally put your hand in your nose or your eyes or your mouth, or pet the dog or something like that. Keep your hands clean before you knead. And then enjoy this part. I'm sticking my hands in my flour because I do that all the time. You might want to use a quarter cup or something so that you're not sticking your hands in your flour. Okay, this does not require a lot of kneading. It gets together pretty quickly. But if you enjoy kneading, it will make it a lighter dough if you spend a few minutes. About 10 minutes is about the most that you want to spend kneading dough, because beyond that, you'll be adding too much flour and it won't be very delicious. It'll be hard. But I only spend a few minutes, and this is okay. It needs to look something like this. You want it to be all incorporated and smooth. Those are your guidelines. If it's lumpy, or if it's still sticking to your hands, that means you need to add a little more flour and keep working. If you're short, ask your mom or dad to get a stool or a heavy bottom chair so you can stand by the counter and use your whole body to knead. But I mean, the great thing about bread breaking is it really can't be hurried. You have to use your muscles and you have to take your time. All right, here we go. I'm going to say that this is good enough. You might like to spend a little longer. Make it into a ball so it looks like this. There we go. And then we're going to put a little bit of butter, or if you used oil, you could use oil, in the bottom of the bowl so that it doesn't stick while it's rising, because it will, and then you'll have a little bit of mess. It would be okay, I know, because I sometimes forget to do this, but it's easier to work with if you grease the bowl. And then spin it and flip it and cover it. So I like this because it's reusable and it has a vent hole. Other things that you can use are a damp dish towel that's clean, or you can use plastic wrap over it. Paper products don't really work very well because if the dough rises high, it'll stick. So like this, and then you want to put it in a warm spot or a sunny spot until it doubles in bulk, approximately. You're just going to eyeball it. So about an hour and a half. If it's a warm, humid day, it'll rise much more quickly. It is warm today, so it might be quicker, but we'll let this rise and then we will touch base. For the last step of this, you can either make this into a round family loaf and put it on a tray, or you can use a bread pan. We'll explore that when we finish. All right, let's see how our bread rose. Oh, that's very nice. Nice and rounded. All right, so at this point in time, if you have a loaf pan and you'd like to make it into a traditional bread shape, you can do that. If you don't have a loaf pan, you can also just make a rounded loaf, and that's what I'm going to do today. And for this, you could use any kind of a cookie sheet baking pan, whatever you use to cook stuff in the oven. So cornmeal is okay. Parchment paper is okay. I'm going to use a little butter. You want to have something to prevent the dough from sticking to the pan. while it's cooking, I'm making a circle because I'm going to do a rounded loaf. If you're going to use a pan, you want to thoroughly grease the whole inside of your pan because it will stick wherever it's not greased. I'm just going to leave the butter on my hands. Take this out and just shape it into a rounded loaf. Okay. That's pretty. Now, I'm going to put it on the pan, and it needs one more short rise until it's a little bit puffy. You don't need to wait till it's doubled in bulk this time. You want it to just have a little bit of rise time, about 20 minutes. And then we'll put it into the oven to cook. You can cover it with a damp cloth, or you can just leave it open to the air, whichever you please. If it's a hot, humid day like it is today, it'll rise quicker. If it's a cold day, take a little bit longer. All right, this is just fine. The only thing I would add to this is you don't want to let it rise too long, because if you overproof or overrise it, when you put it into the oven, it will sink. So 15 or 20 minutes, it's a little bit poofier, and I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. You would want an adult to do that, and then ask the adult that's working with you to put it in the oven. It will cook for about 30 minutes. Give or take, ovens are different. You'll know because when it's finished, it will be brown, golden brown on top, and when you tap it, it will sound hollow. So you would want an adult to do that as well, but the signals that your loaf is done is a golden brown top and a hollow sound when you tap it. Okay, let's see here. See how we did. One place. Okay, that's about right. Beautiful loaf of bread for your family. You probably can't hear that. Sounds a little hollow. Enjoy.